Hey everyone, Paul Nowak, the General Secretary of the TU, stirred up some controversy with his speech, where he branded Nigel Farage a traitor to the working class. Paul began by saying that he doesn't believe most Reform UK voters are racist, but he reinforced that the head of the party is no friend of the working people. Whilst many politicians seem to be afraid of calling out to Nigel Farage, it's fallen to people like Paul and Mick Lynch from the RMT to take on that task. Have a listen.
I don't believe for one moment that most of those who voted Reform at the last election are racist. But let me say this clearly and unequivocally. Nigel Farage isn't a friend of the working class. He's a fraud. A public school educated, private equity loving, NHS privatising, Putin apologist fraud. My granddad Joe came to Britain with the Polish RAF and played his part in the fight against fascism 8 decades ago. In May, I found myself in southern Poland, boarding an overnight train to Kyiv to meet our sister unions. I visited a power station razed to the ground by Russian rockets. I saw city apartment blocks destroyed by missile strikes. And I visited the Children's Hospital in Kyiv and met some of those at the sharp and very human end of war. People like Katya, 14 years old, who was wounded by the Russian shelling that killed her mother. 6 weeks after my visit, Putin bombed that same children's hospital. Operating theatres wrecked. Kids with cancer traumatised. Doctors and nurses hunting through the rubble for their colleagues. So when I see Farage making excuses for Putin's illegal and indefensible invasion of Ukraine, it turns my stomach. Congress, I'll say it again, the far-right hate-mongers are no friends of the working class. They're not patriots, they are frauds.
Paul's points are spot on. Farage pretends to support workers, but he's repeatedly attacked trade unionists, the very people fighting for workers' rights. He claims to stand for British jobs, yet opposes measures like raising taxes to fund necessary training programmes for healthcare workers. He's against higher council taxes that would help fund social care and better wages in that field. Farage played a major role in delivering Brexit, which directly led to the weakening of workers' protections, something he continues to advocate for. Does anybody remember P&O Ferries? He wants to cut benefits for many people, putting them in low-paid employment, whilst he advocates for tax cuts for the wealthy, and cuts to the very assistance working-class people depend on. 40% of people on benefits, 40%, are actually working. If Farage were in power, the working class would undoubtedly suffer. He uses hot-button issues like immigration to convince working people that he's on their side, but in reality his policies serve to line the pockets of the richest people like himself. And when it comes to Putin, of course, Farage admires someone like that, a leader who disregards human rights, exploits the working class to gain power, and enriches himself and his allies. Can you imagine Nigel Farage as Prime Minister? Let me know what you think. As always, I read all your comments, and I've been Jake from Just Jake, and as always, make love, not war, because you do not be a sympathetic Putin fan like Nigel Farage. Do not be a Farageist. You actually made it to the end of the video. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, which, why haven't you already, is somewhere over there. And also, if you want to watch more videos, also check out over there. I've been Jake from Just Jake. See you later.